Today is a gift, and together we will make it a memorable one. Every time we step into a session like this, we carry with us not just notebooks and questions, but curiosity and purpose. We come with the hope of learning something that will stay with us, something that will shape the way we think, work, and grow. Today, gathering is one such opportunity where learning meets experience and knowledge meets inspiration.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a vibrant day here at Sri Balaji University, Pune. Each session we attend leaves us with something new to take back. And today is no different. We have all gathered here today for a special reason, which will soon unfold as we welcome a very special guest.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Pradnya Mane, Student Junior Manager from Balaji Institute of Management and Human Resource Development, pursuing my specialization in marketing.
And I am Om Bharadwaj, Junior Student Manager at the Balaji Institute of Management and Human Resource Development, specializing in marketing. Together, we will be your master of ceremony for today's event. To begin, we warmly welcome our respected faculty member, our esteemed guest speaker, and all our fellow student managers. Your presence makes this gathering even more special. We are honored today to have with us today Mr. Saud Zafar from KP.ai. His experience in the corporate world and the industry wisdom he brings will surely leave us with meaningful takeaways. To start the event, we now invite student manager Sonal from BMHRD to present a bouquet to our guest.
Being a part of Sri Balaji University is not just about attending lectures, it is about the transformation we are all going through. Every interaction with our faculty and visiting industry speakers has shaped our thinking and taught us how to deal with the real business challenges.
That's right. The university creates an environment where learning feels connected to the outside world. We aren't just preparing for placement, we are preparing for careers and leadership role. Speaking of placement, SBUP proudly maintains a 97% placement track record, which truly inspires us as a student manager. We are also proud to share that our university was recently featured in Times B School Ranking 2024. And here are few highlights. SBUP is now the top private university in Maharashtra and Western India, ranked fourth among private universities in India, listed among the top 10 private B school across the country, ranked best ranked among the best for placement. These achievements reflect our university's commitment towards quality education and industry readiness.
And now we are all eager to hear from the person we have been waiting for.
Yes, to formally introduce our esteemed guests for the day, we now invite manager Sneha Kumari from BMHRD Marketing.
Good evening, everyone. I am Sneha Kumari from vibrant city of Ranchi, Jharkhand, a land known for its biodiversity. I am a junior student manager and at Balaji Institute of Management and Human Resource Development, specializing in marketing. It's a truly honor to introduce our esteemed guest today, Mr. Saud Zafar, a forward-thinking HR and organizational development leader with a global perspective. He is known for designing high impact, productivity driven HR strategies while nurturing strong people partnership aligned with business outcomes. Mr. Zafar holds a BTech in computer science and completed his HR specialization from XLRI Jamshedpur. He began his career as a software engineer at Infosys, and since then, he has led HR functions across several leading organizations, including Kantar, Dassault Systems, Fujitsu, Fulcrum Digital, Exact, Regin, Fujitsu, and currently Keepy.ai. A regular speaker at both industry and academic forums, Mr. Zafar believes deeply in the power of mutual learning and engages actively with thoughts, leaders, and shape the future of work. Now, without further ado, let's welcome a truly visionary in the world of HR and leadership, Mr. Saud Zafar, sir. We are privileged to have you with us today. The stage is all yours.
Thank you, everyone. Uh, a very good evening to each one of you out here. Before we proceed ahead with the boring presentation, I would like everybody to please stand up for a second. Let's do some stretching before we start the session so that we are more attentive after the tea break. Okay, let's stretch. Come down on your heels. One leg, please, on your heels. Huh? One more on the right hand side. Yeah. Give a pat on the back on the people on the right hand side and say thank you to them for the good work. And now people on the left hand side can do it. Okay. Thanks. Thanks, everyone. Take seat. I've created a presentation, but I thought I will change my mind. And rather than getting into the presentation first, okay, let me understand what you want to understand from me. Okay, let's have a more effective use from that perspective rather than, as I mentioned, taking through some boring presentation which I've made from our side. But let me think what actually you want, okay, in this 1 hour session roughly, so to make it more effective. Okay, if you can jot down the points which people will say and then give that paper to me. Okay, anyone, what you are looking for, what is the output today we are going to get after this session? Anyone, it can be anything. My experience, my perspective and the learning from the industries. Okay, if you can make a note of that question, if somebody can write on that and give me that. Okay, okay. New skills and knowledge. Okay. Current trends in the corporate world. What else?
Sir, sir, your managerial tactics.
Okay. I will maybe touch on couple of case studies so that you can understand in a little better way. What else? What else we want to learn? How to influence people. Okay. That's a little tough one. Sorry if you can be little loud. How to grow in the corporate world. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Good enough? Yeah. How to get a higher placement. Okay. I would talk about how to get a placement and then the higher placement. Okay. Okay. Anything else? Okay. 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 Fair enough. Fair enough. I think good enough points to start right now. Okay. I will just take a paper and then we'll start. Okay, great. So the first is the overall industry experience. Who asked this question? Yeah, if you can be little clear or expand your question.
Sir, myself, Himanshu. I just want to know which AI tools you use in the industry and how you overcome the challenges in the industry.
Okay, perfect. How many of us watches Netflix or different apps like Geo Hotstar? I think most of us, correct? And we pay some premium to that, correct? On a monthly basis or on a yearly basis, correct? Like that, okay? I would ask you to invest some money out of that in the latest AI tools also, okay? There are many AI tools, okay? But maybe the one which I am using might not be helpful to you, correct? I use tools mostly. One of them is Copilot, which comes with my Microsoft version. The second is a Chat GPT, which I think everybody uses, correct? But how many of you actually use the paid version of Chat GPT? And when I asked the question about the Netflix or about the different apps, I think everybody raised the hands. Okay, so I think that's the biggest difference. Okay, and maybe the first learning, invest in yourself, guys. Okay, the time is limited. Okay, it's 24 hours in a day. How effectively, if you're going to make a effective use of that time, okay, will define our careers. There will be few or the other questions also which will be touching what I am going to say right now, okay, about the placement also. This matters. So if you are not going, MBA is for 3 years here, correct? And I came to know the especially 2 years, okay. And from the first year only the batches starts, and you have a different streams and all those, correct? So in this 2 years can make or break your careers, okay. When I did my engineering, I never wanted to be an engineer. I did that because my father was an engineer. And after that, when I am reflecting back, I tried to learn that what I actually did in those 4 years. Okay. So, especially for you guys, okay, now you are into the post graduation. These 2 years are very, very effective. Okay. How essentially you can make the best use of time is the important factor. Yes, there are many AI tools in the market, okay, but according to your use, okay, if you are using ChatGPT, which is the known one, okay, I know you must be making lots of presentations also, correct, and you must be enhancing lots of time, effort, and energy in that, correct. There are many AI tools. I'm not going to tell one of them because each one of has a different paid subscription, but that you can use, okay. So if you are making an PPT that will take maybe 2 3 4 hours, correct. If you are using through AI tools, okay, I'm talking about the good paid AI tools, it will just be a 30 minutes work for you. You just need to make a basic speech, the basic notes, and then it will convert a much better AI presentation. I think that will be the most useful apart from a chat GPT paid version. Okay. Having said that, you know it better than me actually. Okay. If you do some Google around your problem statement, okay, apart from these stuff, you will figure out what are the best AI tools on that. But having said that, most of them are paid version. So we need to effectively use them. Okay. The second was new skills and knowledge. Who asked that question? Yeah, if you can be little more upfront and talk in detail. Yeah, take the mic. Yeah.
How to grow our skill and knowledge to get better placements
Okay.
and
Per
package.
Perfect. Perfect. I think one of the thing is to get into a reading habit. Okay. I'm not sure how many of us actually do it. I also realized this point very later in my life, but reading is one of the most important thing. Okay. Until unless we are not getting into that habit, and that's a habit which we need to create. Okay. I'm not saying that be a avid reader from day one. Okay. Maybe start with a goal of 5 pages per day. 10 pages per day. Enhance that slowly, and then you will learn all the new skills. But until and unless if you are not attentive in your class, okay, your class duration will be what, around 9 to 4 kind of a thing, correct, which will have some semesters, maybe 6 monthly semester you have pattern here, correct. uh, so if you are investing right time of energy in all those courses, okay, if you are able to do your assignment, okay, if you are able to do your group studies, group projects, okay, be attentive in the class, I think most of the times you will get a good placement. I will not talk about the better placement because it all depends on somebody asked that question about that. So uh, if you need a good placement, I think you need to be sincere. Okay, top of whatever you are doing, and ask one question every day. Okay, that's a very deep question, but write the question if you want to. What is the purpose of your life? The day you find this answer, okay, you yourself will become much more sincere about it rather than your teachers or your parents talking about on those aspects. The day you are clear what is the purpose of your life, I think most of the answers will be resolved. Current trends in the corporate world. Who asked that question? Yeah, if you can be.
So I meant in that way, what are the current trends in the corporate? For example, the level of automation that corporate is facing. Are there really employees being sacked off because of AI? What's the level of automation?
Perfect. I think that's a scary question. Everybody talks about that, but having said that, I think we are in an era where we can't avoid the AI. Okay, the sooner we adopt it, better it is. Having said that, do you feel that it impacts the job? Yes, at a low level it will, but at a senior levels, I don't think so. Okay, because for that also the intelligence is required. For example, if you are using chat gpt, you should know what kind of a right prompts you should give, correct. The system will not give you answer based on that. I'm just giving you a very layman example so that you can understand. But in most of the corporate world, I think there is much more noise around the AI space as compare what is happening on the ground. So it will take time, but having said that, as I mentioned earlier, we are in an era that we can't avoid to have our lives without the AI because we don't know how effective it is. Okay, as I just mentioned about the presentation which takes 4 to 5 hours, if you use effective AI tools, it can be finished in 30 minutes. So you have almost 80-90% more time so that you can do something else actually. But don't worry about from the job seeking standpoint of view, there are enough and ample opportunities in the market. But having said that, for the sincere people, for the right people who comes with a good knowledge background, one tip which I would tell you here, whenever I go for any interview process, I always follow a philosophy of ask. Okay, ask while doing the interviews. Anybody heard about this philosophy, ask? So it is ask in that parameter. A stands for attitude for me. Okay. S stands for skills and K stands for knowledge. Okay. So for me, the first and foremost is the attitude, skills, and knowledge. So whenever I go for any interview process, these are the three things which I see, because if you don't have the right attitude, okay, what you will do with the skills and the knowledge, and the vice versa. So keep that in mind. Many corporates, when they do hiring, come with this philosophy of ASK actually, especially in the interview process. Another question was related to the managerial tactics.
So,
Yeah,
Hel-
yeah, you are audible. Yeah,
hello, sir. I just wanted your opinion and your advice as to how manage people without being biased towards someone or creating enemies.
perfect. Um I will give you a couple of examples, but having said that, the first and foremost thing for me in the any corporate world, in my last 20 years experience, is to have a trust. Sit down, take a seat. Have a trust associated with any employee where you are working. so that they can give you the best output. I will give you one example, okay, so that you can understand what I'm trying to say. In one of my organization, okay, that was my first organization where I joined as an HR head. Okay, so what I did, I joined, and in 3 months, I got my whole new team. Okay, there were vacancies were there, so I got all the people whom I know in that organization, and then there was an old team was also there. So from my side, I was thinking I am quite fair. Okay, but then I realized I created a rift between the team. Okay, that's a new team and then the old team. To an extent, okay, although I was fair from my side, you will not believe that when I was doing the appraisal, okay, I'm talking about the self appraisal, I was doing that in front of everyone. Not my rating, but the rating of every one. Why I gave you that example? So that many times what happens, we try to work with the people whom we know, correct? And then the other set of people will feel that you are biased even if you are not. Okay, so that was one of the biggest learning which I had in my corporate career, that first make trust with your own team, with your existing team, and then hire the people whom you know maybe in your team actually. How to influence people? Who asked that? If you can be little, yeah. Okay, I will take up that question. The answers is in this PPT. I will take up that question when we'll go through this PPT. Okay, your answer will be addressed when we take this session. Okay, how to grow in the corporate world? I think somebody asked that question. Not sure who. Yeah.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. My name is Napul. My question is how we can grow in a corporate world.
See, one thing is, shoot an arrow. Sit down. Take a seat. Okay. Shoot an arrow. Okay. When you shoot an arrow, okay, it will go to a distance. Correct. So in same like in a corporate world, okay, your skills, your knowledge, okay, which you are having right now, okay, when you will be applying for any jobs, will take you to a certain point. After that, you have to shoot again. Okay. So what I'm trying to tell you, that each section, okay, in your journey, you have to learn and evolve. Okay. Otherwise what will happen, you will be stagnated in your job. Okay, you will hit the glass ceiling, and then you will feel what I am doing out here. Okay. One of the tips, or many organization also do it, if you have to move to a next level, okay, if you want to take the promotion, then you have to go through two certification. Okay, one is the technical certification and one is the domain certification. Okay, until unless you don't do it, you will not move to a next role. So these are many tactics which many organization do it, although current employees don't like it, but they don't understand that it's for their individual advancement, that why the organization is doing. So every time or any lifeline, you need to be ready to learn, adopt new things so that you can reskill yourself. Okay, somebody asked your experience in the corporate place. Who asked that, and if can be little more clear in that? Okay, maybe I can take a pitch on that. So see, I worked in various organization. Okay, the bigger organization, emerging organizations, new startups, and all those kind of organization. What I've realized over a time period is that the fabric, the DNA, of each organization is different. Okay, what has worked in one organization will never work in the other organization. Many times what we do, we go and try to replicate the policies process of one organization into the other organization, and that's a very wrong thing to do it, because the demand, the output of every organization is different. The expectations of each organization is different. So first we need to understand what is the fabric. Okay, once you are clear on that, then you can work and define the new policies process accordingly. Another thing is, I often see HR as an doctor. So until unless you don't diagnose the problem, what medicines you are going to give it? Okay, similar way as an HR, until unless you don't know what are the people issues, how you are going to define the policies or process. For that you need to interact with the people. That's a must HR skill. If you are an introvert, if you don't like to talk to the people, then HR is not a stream for you, because until unless you don't interact, you will actually not understand people problem, and then you will not be able to define more or a better policies in the process around it. How to get high placement topic we have discussed. Anything which we missed? I think we have covered most points. Okay. Uh, can we move to the presentation? We will talk about the growth mindset today, guys. Okay. Okay, okay. So my experience in the operations field, I think somebody from here asked, can you be little clear in your expectations, what you're looking for? Yeah, yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Operations field. So I have a background of BBA. So usually those people who comes in operation fields has BTech background. So what kind of things that BTech students are more attracted in operation as compared to the BBA's one? Cause its core field is the field of the operation is of BBA's one only. So I want to know what kind of things that the BBA student have a demerits of that.
If you ask me personally, I don't see there are any demerits. Okay, I think the demerits is in your mind or anyone's mind. Nothing like it. Okay, if you have opted for the operations and if you feel that your background is going to be a hindrance, I don't think so. Okay, so go for it, and I think you have an equal opportunity like anybody else there.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
So don't lose your confidence that your background is little different as compared to that. Doesn't matter at all.
Thank you, sir.
How to tackle the toxic work culture. Uh, um, that's a little tricky, because I think there are a couple of ways to do it. I think the best scenario which I have felt, if give a fight. Okay, fight in the sense, try to adjust to that culture. Okay, uh, but personally I feel, and that's what is my motto in life, is that don't um, don't compromise on your values or the ethics. Okay, and for each one of us those values and ethics are different, correct? For me, in one of the organization it happened with me that because of certain toxic culture, I tried to escalate it to the higher management. Things didn't resolve, and after that I thought my time is over and it's better to move out. Having said that, do you say I still have a grudge about that organization? The answer is no. Okay. Why? Because one of the reason why I'm here is because of that organization. Okay. So don't keep any grudges in your mind. Okay. If you are not feeling comfortable in that environment, okay, don't compromise on your values and ethics. But my fund of the life is very clear. Just move on. Okay. And don't keep anything in your heart, because at the end of the day, it's going to only hurt you, nobody else. So that was my take on that. And since I've made some effort in making this presentation, let's go through that also, so that I can impart a few of the more learnings. Uh, do I have any, how to move the slides? Okay, okay, okay. If I have a, yeah, I think this will be helpful. Thank you. So before starting the presentation, let me tell you a story. Okay. Um, how many of you know Steve Jobs, Jack Ma, Michael Jordan? Do you feel any similarity in all these cases? What's the similarity? And any one of you? Growth mindset. I think my job is done since you already know what is the growth mindset. Having said that, I think this is one of the most powerful tool. Okay, we don't realize it. Okay, but I think this is a habit which need to be cultivated. Okay, many ask you what are the success recipe and all those. If we do this kind of a thing, okay, if we train our mind in a growth mindset, okay, this will always help you to move ahead in your career. Okay. A show of hand maybe can help because we don't have another tool to do it. One second, I think. Yeah. So, how do you usually respond to the failure? Avoid trying again. Raise your hand if you are up for answer A. There's nothing right or wrong in that, by the way. Okay. It can be anything. Anyone for A? I think couple of hands here also, couple of them. Okay, fair enough. Seek feedback. Just don't raise it just for the sake of raising it, huh? Be true to yourself. Then the third one is blame external factors. Many times I do it. I got late because there was a high traffic today. I got late because the car got punctured. Correct. I was not able to finish the assignment because the electricity was not there, internet was not working, and vice versa. Correct. Blame external factors. Very easy to do it. I got admission in a college because of I didn't score well. Correct. Reflect and retrieve. Okay, fair enough. If I have to say, if you have to see a growth mindset, and if you really want to be ahead in your life, okay, then reflect and retrieve, okay, is one of the most powerful thing if you can do. Okay, for any situation, okay, if you are not successful, okay, try to reflect why it is happening. And you are in that age group that apart from you, if you ask me sincerely, okay, nobody else can define that for you. Okay, your teachers, your parents, your counselors can help you, but beyond a point, it's your responsibility to reflect what are your shortcomings. There is a famous saying in English: we seek for answers, but we already know what is the answer is. Okay, so many time what we try to do, the point number three, blame the external factors. We try to show that frustrations on the others. That's not right. I think if we reflect and retrieve, I think most of the things will be resolved here. uh, why growth mindset is very very important. Okay, we all understand, correct, change is the only constant. Okay, pre-covid area we have seen that, in post-covid area we have seen. Okay, and I would talk about couple of examples so that you are aware about what I'm saying. um, Pre-COVID, I feel there were hardly 5% of the organizations in India where the work from home was allowed, correct? IBM was one of the pioneer. Post that, when the COVID happens, all the securities, IP gone for a toss, okay? Within a week's time, everybody got a desktop or laptop, okay? Everybody made that happen. But there was a myth from both the sides. From the organization side, the myth was that people will not work from home. Okay, the productivity will get hamper. From the employee side, they were feeling very comfortable that it will be very easy for them to work from home. Correct. Normal typical Indian scenario is, okay, and in those days especially, your kids are also studying online. If your spouse is working, she is also online. Your parents are there, if they are living with you, you have to take care of them also, okay? And we don't have such a big houses, correct, that we have a luxury to have our own offices separately, correct? So it was not so easy. So employees also realized over a time period that is not so easy. Organization also realized over a time period that yes, work from home is possible, okay, if we give them a certain example. So what happens? They gave internet allowances, okay. Many organization, including mine at that time, we shipped the overall office setup, including the table and the chair, okay, to provide that uh, advantage to the employees actually, okay. So what I'm trying to say, the change is constant, okay, and it will be. Did we really believe? I didn't believe. I still remember the last day, which was 16th 17th of March, before the COVID, that I went to the office, because I always felt, and I was the firm believer that we can't work from home actually, okay? Especially coming from the HR background, I always thought people interaction in office is must. Now, after 5 6 years, that stance has changed. From last couple of my organization, it's almost 100% remote, okay? So change is constant. We can't deny that. We have to adopt, and based on that, we have to change our philosophy also. Uncertain, fast changing environments, I just gave the examples of that, okay. Many times in your education patterns also it happens, correct. For example, if I give you the example of 10th, okay, from this year I think the board exams will happen twice a year, correct. Maybe it can happen with you guys also. The semester can be 1 month or 2 months instead of a 6 months, correct. We don't know what's going to change, but we should be always be ready with that kind of a change. AI, automation, global crisis, okay, Russia, Ukraine war, India, Pakistan war, all those will happen, correct? But it doesn't mean it's going to impact us. Yes, it will, but not beyond a point. I think the world has reached that point that we all know, okay, where to drop a ball and where not to drop a ball. Uh, AI, as I mentioned, we are just scratching the surface. It will, according to me, we are miles far away from where we should be. Okay. Having said that, the people interaction, coming especially from the HR background, I feel is a must. That's a paramount, and that will never go away, according to me. Your MBA is a training ground for navigating change. See, what has happened in the life has happened, guys. Okay, this 2 years, as I mentioned earlier, is a make or break for you. If you are really sincere about it, okay. But as I mentioned, go back and write what is your purpose of your life, what you really want to achieve after doing the MBA. Okay, I know many would have joined the MBA because your friends have done it. Okay, your parents are pushing it, your peers are doing it. No, do it because you want to do it. Okay, rather than for anybody else. The day you realize this impact, okay, sooner the better it is. I will try to be little quick in few of the slides because maybe we would have talked about it in the past. So what basically is a growth mindset? Okay. So growth mindset is that when we focus on or reflect what are my shortcomings are, okay, and how I can improve, how I can grow, rather than talking about or blaming about the different scenarios, okay. In a nutshell, that's the growth mindset, and that's a habit. You need to cultivate that habit. As per few studies, if you practice anything for 21 days, it becomes a kind of a habit. So if you start doing those changes from today, okay, maybe in a month or so you will start seeing those changes. But you need to be true to yourself, nobody else actually. uh, I like this point, give up easily and persist through obstacles, okay. uh, you've seen heartbeats, how the heartbeats are up and down, correct, zigzag. That's how the life is, zigzag, one up and down, a part of life. The day it becomes straight, you know what happens, correct. So similarly, the life is also part of obstacles. Take it as part of the life. Okay, sooner you overcome that, it will be good for us. Have anybody heard about this guy? He's a Stanford professor. Carol. Anybody? So that's the reason I was stressing on the reading part. He was the Stanford professor in 1988. A beautiful document on the growth study. I would request everybody to go and read that. There is a YouTube video also related to that. In the interest of the time, we'll not be able to get into the details. But having said that, I think the focus is on the long term. Okay, if you start putting the efforts early in your career, you will see the long term results. For that, you need to, again, going back, you have to start investing some time around it. Okay, and then you will gradually see the long term impact. If you feel that on a 1 week before examination, if I study and if I will get a good marks, most probably you might be, if you are a brilliant, but majority of the case you will not be able to do that, because if you are not going to do that on a daily basis, you will not be able to achieve that. um, uh, I would also give you one example of a comfort zone. Okay, have you seen that diagram around the comfort zone, which talks about that 98% of the people talk about the change. Okay, but they are in that comfort zone, they don't want to be out of that. Only 2% of the people are out of that comfort zone, and those are the people who actually make the impact. So it's up to you. You want to be part of that 98%, or 2% is all up to you guys. Adaptability. Okay, so ability to adjust to your new conditions and thrive. Okay, it's a must in the corporate environment, it's must in your journey, whatever you are doing. Okay, you all come from a different schools, colleges, different places, and all those. Okay, but now you are part of one class. Okay, so that's the change which you need. Different cultures, different food, correct? um, After my 12th, I'm out of my house. Okay, so I know what the change is. Okay, I did my engineering from Gwalior. At that time I was in Kanpur. So coming from UP, moving to uh, MP, there was a change in the culture, the food habits, and all those, but we all adapt, correct? The sooner we do it is better for us. I gave example of COVID already. Netflix, Nokia, Xerox. Have you guys know anything about Nokia? It was one of the pioneer in one days, correct? In the mobile phone. Now, does anyone have a Nokia phone? In those days, I would say 95% of the people were having the Nokia phone. Now, not even 1 or 2%, because they were not ready to adapt. Okay, they didn't see how the future is coming. The sooner we realize it, better for us. Xerox was one of the famous organization, and they were again the pioneers in their own age. Now nobody even talks about it. I'm not sure how many of you actually know about that. So these are the case study. I'm sure it will be part of your curriculum. If it is not, then you should go and learn these case studies, because there are reflections and learnings based on that. The first point is the most important. Embrace failure as a learning. Okay, you know, have you heard about P Gopichand? Who is he? Perfect, perfect, great. I was fortunate enough to visit his academy in Hyderabad. In Infosys days, I was based out of Hyderabad. The academy is just next to the Infosys Gachibowli campus. If you go there, okay, how beautifully he created that, and look at the time and investment he is doing, and also the people are doing. We just see the outcomes. Okay, but we don't see their learnings, their failures. The sooner we try to embrace the failures, and try to learn from it, guys. Okay, that will change our strategy, that will change our outlook, that will change our mindset. So never get threatened if you are getting some setbacks in early in your career. I will talk about my example so that you can relate, and I'm not shy of saying that. In my first year of engineering, I got two backs. Okay, one was mechanics and one was ed. And you will not believe, and that came as such a surprise to me, both these subjects I used to teach my hostel mates, okay, on these two subjects, mechanics and ed. And I thought I will get flying marks, but when the results came, okay, it was a setback because I never thought, okay, that I was so good in those two subjects that I can get a back. But that was a learning. Okay, I learned from my failures and ensure that in the next 7 semester, okay, I didn't take the things lightly. Okay, and came up with the flying numbers at the end of the day. What happens, you all work in a different uh, some assignment, group assignments, correct, group projects and all those, correct. What happens when you start or you don't deliver a good pitch? You try to blame each other in that group, correct. What happens when the India team loses the any match? Then we try to focus on the shortcomings. Okay, we say Kohli didn't bat well, Bumrah didn't bowl well, or um, we lost because we dropped so many catches. Correct. That happens when the team losses. But when we win, we don't focus on those shortcomings. So very essential that whenever the failures are there, okay, try to learn from those failures. I know these are the practical scenarios which happens in your daily life also, when you are part of the projects and the blame game starts, that assignment work was given to you and all those stuff. So no blame game. Okay, try to take a responsibility, try to learn from those adjectives. When was the last time you embraced a change? How do you usually respond to failure or ambiguity? What happens? When was the last time in this group, I'm asking this show of hand, when we did something new or embraced for a new change? Hardly anyone, correct? I think again this the monotonous life needs to break. Okay, we need to find some or the other ways so that we can pick up new hobbies which can impact our life in a positive way. I think one of the best habit which I have learned over a time period is also jot down the things. Okay, the learnings. Um, Whenever wherever I go, okay, I'm still a little outdated person. I always carry a pen and diary. Okay, for all my meetings. All the AI tools are in the market. I do that also, but I get personal satisfaction by writing few things on diary. Okay, so start creating a journal, not necessary in black and white. It can be in the form of any AI, so that you know what you are going to do it. uh, One good habit which I did when I was in my 12th, especially in the last 3 months, every day I used to write what I actually did for that particular day. Okay, that gives me a learning path that, oh, maybe this day was not productive or this day was. Okay, so that you can go back and reflect on those learnings. Reframe negative thoughts. Very important aspect, because it's especially in this era we have seen many times, and you know it better than me, is about the mental stress, correct. Many time you see that people are fit enough and then they are getting collapse because of ABC illness, correct. I think the core is because of the stress, and why the stress comes in because of the negative thoughts. So the day you start dodging the negative thoughts like a bouncer, if you are playing a cricket match, okay, it will be beneficial for you. Try something uncomfortable weekly. Okay, again in a positive way, if we try to do some break your monotonous routine, guys. Okay, um, the day you start thinking those in a that way, that fashion, the life will change in a positive way. See, the life is given once, according to me, correct? Make a optimum use of that. Don't waste your time and effort in the negative thought process. Read. Again, I'm stressing on the word read rather than the watch. The autobiographies of different leaders, okay, whomever you like. There are so many learnings out of that, guys. Okay, yeah, if you can pick two, three good habits out of that, trust me, it will change the way you are thinking. So, what are the few takeaways, maybe according to me, is a growth mindset foster continuous learning. Okay, so if you have a positive growth mindset, it will foster continuous learning. Adaptability is vital for business success. Not only for your MBA classes, for your corporate classes also. These are the few takeaways from my side. Daily action build powerful habits. Some incremental changes if you do on day one, there's 365 days. Look at the impact if you can make it on that. Okay. I'm throwing you a challenge for each one of you. Okay. Pick one mindset habit to practice this week. Okay. The week is only now 3 days more in left in this week. So pick one mindset habit. Okay. Try something uncomfortable which you haven't done it. Okay. For example, if you are not uh, morning person, try to get up early in the morning. Okay, go for a walk, do some exercises, start reading the book, start making the journals. Okay, try to do something which you haven't done till now. Reframe a failure as a learning habit and ask for a feedback. Okay, this is kind of an activity which I want, if you can do it, it will be beneficial for each one of you out here. I think that was my last slide, until unless we have any questions or reflections here. Great. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir, for that insightful session.
It is often said that expressing gratitude completes the circle.
We will, if anyone, if anyone has a question for Mr. Saud Zafar, sir, please feel free to raise your hand. We will take just one last final question.
Hello. Hi. Good evening, sir. So I wanted to know, as you are from HR background, we see a lot of in corporate people don't leave organization, people leave managers. It is true or not? One is that one question, and we see a lot of when anyone is entered in an organization, a lot of training and everything is given. So in the starting phase, and whenever someone is on the CEO level, and this a lot of importance is given at that period of time. But in the between, a lot of times the middle managers take a lot of different decisions and some careers changes, as you also said that you tried in one organization to change but it didn't happen when you left, right? So where is the threshold that we should think about changing the organizations to stay with that or leave for our personal growth?
Great question. Thanks for asking that. Um, the first question is based on my experience. A majority of the people leave the organization because of their uh, ability or inability to work with the respective managers. Okay, so that relationship needs to be there. Okay, many times what happens, if I have to talk from the other side, managers also feel little scared. Okay, that this person might overtake his work or her work and all those scenarios. So those situations also happens, but there are ways how we can overcome. In most of the organization, we have skip level meetings, we have the leadership forums and all those where these things are addressed. But having said that, I think one of the main reason why people leave the organization is because of the relationship with your managers, actually. Okay, so that was one. What was the second question? Sorry. Yeah, sorry, I got it. Yeah, so threshold, see, in any organization, the life is not cozy. Okay. I'm a cricketer. I love to play cricket. So the pitches in India and pitches in England, if I have to take a recent examples, are quite different. Correct. So is also depends on the individual how to adapt to that pitches. Okay. How to change your game according to the situation. Okay. But yes, there are few individuals, in spite of doing that, okay, they get a failure. Correct. So based on that, it's the ability of the individual also, okay, and the ability of that situation also. It's a combination of both the scenarios, and then your personal belief in the ethics. Is that triangle which is there. When all the three are not fitting it and this triangle is going for a toss, I feel then it is a time to change the organization. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much, sir.
It is often said that expressing gratitude completes the circle of learning. To express our heartfelt thanks, now we invite Junior Student Manager Kaushiki Trivedi from BITM Finance to present a small token of appreciation to Sir. Her question was truly insightful.
And now, to formally conclude today's session on a graceful note, I invite Junior Student Manager Pratham Gupta from BMHRD Marketing to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Pranya and Om. Hello, everyone. I am Pratham Gupta, Junior Student Manager at BIM HRD, specializing in marketing. It is truly an honor for me to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of Sri Balaji University, Pune. A heartfelt thank you to our esteemed guest, Mr. Saud Zafar, Senior Vice President, HR Operations at KPAI, for gracing us with your presence and sharing such a valuable insights. Your words were not only inspiring but also deeply thought-provoking, offering us practical perspectives and clarity for our journey ahead. As we reflect on your talk, here are a few key takeaways that hold special relevance for us student managers. Sir told about the importance of investing on yourself. Don't compromise with your values and ethics. Embrace the failures and learn from your failures. And last, reflect and retry is the foundation of growth mindset. As we close, let's carry forward the spirit of today with the appreciations and purpose. Wishing you all a great evening. Thank you, everyone.
Please scan the QR code and then exit.